I was fucking excited for every single fight. Every single fight looked amazing. Um, every single fighter looked amazing except one fight. I'm gonna get into that later. What do you think?
Yeah, it was such a good card. But
So, yeah, go on, go.
a man that shocked the world, well, not really shocked the world, but Robbie Law.
Robbie, yeah, Robbie did great. Let's start from the prelims, and we'll get to
What, early
uh,
prelims?
from early prelims, recap all the fights, because I wanna, because this card was amazing. It was amazing. One of the best cards I've ever seen in my life. From start to finish, it looked great. And we start the we start the card with Jonathan Pierce versus Omar Morales. Morales, he's a great fighter. I've seen him fight before, but it was not about how bad or Omar Morales is. It was about how good Jonathan Pierce is. And he looked fucking incredible. The ground game was insane. That finish, that rear naked choke, it was insane. Yeah, it was a great fight. I expected a little bit more from Morales. I think he could have done a little bit more with the takedown defense and all that. But
Yep.
yeah, Jonathan Pierce, he used his advantages, man. When you can get to the ground and finish the fight, you have to do it. What do you think about that fight?
Yeah, that was a good fight. I mean, like I said last night was the rear naked choke special card.
Yeah. Rear naked choke. Next fight, Martin Sano versus Matthew Semmelsberger. Matthew Semmelsberger, what are you? 15 seconds? I mean, come on. He's got two 15-second knockout on his record. And by the way, he's coming on this show in a couple of weeks. He's coming on the show. So yeah, you gotta praise him for that.
Like,
15
if
seconds, man.
you're looking at it, in the UFC, his only loss is to Chaos Williams.
To Chaos Williams. Who's Chaos Williams? Let me tell you who's Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams is a guy, if he touches you, you're going to sleep. That's Chaos Williams. And he lost only to that guy. And I
And
mean, he looked great. He looked great. He looked fired up. That right hand was money. He landed on the chin. But what I am really surprised is that UFC signed Martin Sano, because what I heard about Martin Sano is he hasn't won a fight since 2014. Yeah,
oh
yeah. I don't know why UFC
my
signed him.
god.
I don't know
No,
what.
do you know who he beat in 2013 by rear naked choke?
Who.
Jeff Neal.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I heard about it on the podcast. They said
2013.
he beat Jeff Neal rear naked choke. I mean I think that's the reason they signed him. You beat Jeff Neal, it
Jeff Neal.
doesn't matter. Jeff Neal's a tough son of a bitch, man. Jeff Neal's a tough son of a bitch. And
I think Jeff Neal has huge potential.
yeah, Jeff Neal only lost to the
Ran
best.
into some really tough guys recently, like
He fought. I
Thompson,
mean, he fought.
Magny.
Yeah, Magny, Thompson, both guys are great top 10 uh, fighters, and but still, he if he's if he beat Jeff Neal, that's good. But I don't know if what's going on with him. Was he like? I don't know. I
Maybe
got to do a little bit more
this
research
might
on
not
this
be
guy.
sport for him.
I don't know. I don't know how old he is. How old he is? It doesn't say here.
He's 30.
30 years old. Wait a minute. If he's 30 years old, how old was he when he was fighting in 2014?
23.
Wow. That's good.
22. He fought Jeff Neal at 22. He made his debut at 21.
22 years old and beat Jeff Neal? That's amazing. So we can't say Semmelsberger let him beat up a bum. Because, listen, if you beat Jeff Neal, finish him, his last two fights that Jeff Neal's lost, he hasn't been finished. He was dismantled in the Wonderboy fight, but he wasn't finished. And when you finish Jeff Neal like that, that's amazing. Next fight, we got Nick Maximov versus Cody Bondage. This fight looked great. Nick Maximov, he has utilized his wrestling. His stand-up looked great, but he gassed out in the last 30 seconds. So I think he needs to work on that cardio a little bit more. I mean, you're training with the Diaz brothers. Go do triathlon for a couple months, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
He looked amazing when he wasn't tired.
yeah. I mean that the takedowns and the chain wrestling looked amazing. And let's be honest, let's be honest here. I think he's got the potential to be a star, the next star from Stockton. Because the only fighters we know from Stockton are
Nick.
Nick and Nate Diaz, the Diaz brothers. We get to them later, and these two gentlemen, Martin Sano and Nick Maximov. I think Maximov, he's got the potential to be a star. Coming from Stockton, really good ground game, like the Diaz brothers. His his stand up look decent. I think he can be a star in the future, and
Yeah.
I hope he can do it, man. I hope everybody can succeed in this sport. This is a really great sport. Moving on. Jalen Turner versus Uros Medic.
Right.
Wow.
This fight.
Before we get started, before I talk about this one, I just want to thank Turner for not bringing out a fucking spider. Tarantula? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I'm just happy that he didn't bring out any fucking spider. Because I'm terrified of spiders. I got a phobia of spiders, fucking scorpions, and snakes. So yeah, I'm so happy that he didn't bring out any fucking spiders
He
tonight.
looked amazing.
He looked amazing. He looked amazing. And let's talk about this guy being a striker. He's a striker, and he did that. He dominated Uros Medic, and Medic was fired up, man. He was fired up. His last fight. He looked amazing. His fight before, the 7 fights before that, he was undefeated before that. Before this fight, and he looked amazing in every single fight. And what Turner did, my God, that was impressive. That
Yeah.
was impressive. And 6'3" tall and 155 pounds. I mean, he doesn't walk around at 155, but how do you cut down to 155 if you're 63? You're at least 100 and I don't know 58 pounds of skeleton. How do you cut all the muscles? Jesus. Moving on next, we got Talia Santos versus Roxanne Modafferi. Talia Santos, she looked great. She looked good. She looked great on the feet. But again, like Maximov, she got tired.
Yeah.
What do you think about that fight? Talia Santos fight.
I think it's what I think. She has got so much potential to become champion.
I mean, a fight between her and Valentina Shevchenko is gonna look amazing. It's gonna look amazing. And speaking of amazing performances, Chris Dawkins,
My word, he
he
hits
knocked
like a
him out
truck.
4 times in 2 rounds. 4 times in 2 rounds. Twice in the first round, and twice in the first round, 3 times in the first round, and 1 time in the second round. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was just clean.
Yeah,
I
clean
was,
right
I was
hand. That right
rocking,
hand is money.
I was rocking with the Russian. I just thought he's Russian, so you'll get him.
I mean, you can't go against the Russians, but
Yeah,
he's Shamil Abdurrahimov. He's 40 years old. He's not gonna
yeah,
get any better. If it's
yeah.
gonna
But
happen,
we
it's
have to
gonna happen
remember
the opposite.
Chris.
It's gonna go the opposite. Yeah,
We
go
have to
on.
remember Chris is got so much potential.
I mean, in a division where everybody's over 30 years old, 35, and you're 30 years old and doing something like that, that's amazing. And Chris Dawkins, I feel like right now he joined at elite heavyweights I got a list of elite heavyweights, and Chris Dawkins just joined that elite list. I got Cyril Gane in that list. I got Tom Aspinall. I
Put him
got
against Tom
Chris
Aspinall.
Dawkins right now.
Put him against Tom.
No, I don't like that fight. They're both up and comers. I would love to see them fight, but not right now. Not right now, because one of them's gonna lose, and I don't want to see them lose. So yeah.
Chris is losing.
Oh yeah. Whatever you say. Moving on to the next fight, Nasrat Hakparas versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's back. He snapped the losing streak against a very tough Nasrat. And I wanna say one thing before, talking about this fight. My heart goes out to the Nasrat family. To Hakpar's family. That was a tragic thing that happened to him, and respect to my guy Nasser coming out and fighting. He could have pulled out. I would have pulled out. I hope that I I hope I die before I see my mother die, but pass away. But if I was Nasrat, I would have pulled out. If it wasn't for that, I would have pulled out because this visa situation. And this man, he came in, took the fight, against a very tough Dan Hooker, came in and fought. He looked decent, he's unranked, but he looked decent against Dan Hooker. He landed a couple good shots. Um, he made the weight. He didn't even ask Dana to, hey Dana, can we just make it a catch weight fight? Maybe at 170, maybe at 165, maybe. He didn't even ask for that. And same with Dan Hooker. This man, he had problems with the visa and all that stuff. Came in and fought and beat Nasrat in a way that I never thought would happen. I thought Dan was going to knock him out in the third round, but Dan utilizes wrestling very well. He showed that he can grapple, and I think his future is looking brighter than ever with that wrestling. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it just opens up so much more fights for him. The wrestling, like he couldn't strike against Chandler Poirier. So the wrestling will help him if he takes on Dariush, Tony Ferguson next.
Oh yeah, he called up Benil Dariush, which is a smart move, Smart move. You win a fight, you call out your next opponent, and I think Benil Dariush is gonna be a very tough fight for him, man. Very tough, because statistically, Dan Hooker is a great striker. He just showed his grappling. Benil Dariush is an amazing grappler. I don't care how good Dan looked on the ground. Benil is going to be 10 times better than that because he's a black belt. He's a no-gi champion. He just dominated Tony Ferguson, another black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
And if that fight happens, I think Dan Hooker can use that grappling that he showed off tonight to take to keep the fight on the feet and do damage. And if that fight happens, which I don't know if that's gonna happen, but if it happens, it's gonna be a great matchup. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
And another thing you pointed out, Michael Chandler, and the reason Dan was backing up so much was the fear of the takedown, and he didn't want to get taken down by Chandler. So that's the reason that he was backing up, and he got caught with that great combination. So, he fixed that. He was moving forward. He was doing damage, and he wrestled, and he looked great. He looked absolutely amazing. Moving on to the next fight. I can't even talk about this fight. This fight was the greatest fight I've ever seen in the past year. This is
That
number one. This is one of the greatest fights I've ever seen, and I've seen some great fights. I've seen great fights, and this one is up there. Marab Dabalishvili. There's a reason that they call this guy the machine. You know, when you get stung like that, when you get hurt like that, some people quit, but not Marab Dabalishvili. This guy is, like I said, like his nickname. He's the machine. He's a machine. He showed up great. Great heart, a heart of a champion. You don't see many contenders, show a heart like that. He fought like he was gonna lose the belt tonight. He fought like he was gonna lose the belt. And for Marlon Moraes, I don't know what to say about Marlon. To be honest, I don't know what to say about Marlon. He looked broken to me. What do you think, Ollie?
Yeah. He doesn't have the magic anymore.
Yeah, the magic is gone. The magic is gone.
He's still a very dangerous man, like, but it's just not there for him.
It's not there, because um, how old is he? He's only 33 years old, and I think that's how you know a fighter is not in his prime. 'Cause when a fighter goes out there and does good, he did great. He did great on the feet, but later on he lost. He got knocked. He was TKO. But looking at that, I mean, that's how you know a fighter is not in his prime. Couple fights in a row, and even when he looked great on the feet, then he got dominated for the rest of the fight. So that's how you know a fighter is not in his prime. You do good, you do great, then you lose.
Yeah, sad.
All right, moving on to the next fight. Jessica Andrade, Cynthia Calvillo. I think this fight, Jessica Andrade, she took it like the fight with Caitlin Jakagian. I talked to Tyler from Mom's Basement podcast, and he said this, and I cannot believe that this actually happened. He said that she's gonna take this fight like she took the Caitlin Jakagian fight, and she did exactly that, and
I'm not.
props to Cynthia Calvillo for fighting this monster, Jessica Andrade. Go on.
I'm not gonna lie. I haven't watched that podcast yet. I need to catch up on it.
Yeah. You've been pretty busy, huh?
Yep, I'm back. Back now.
Yeah, with the schools opening up, man. I mean,
It's
listen. To, this morning I had an online class. I sent you the text. I sent you a screenshot. This fucking fool of a teacher. I can say whatever the fuck I want to say about my teachers. They're not gonna watch this anyway. And even if he does, he doesn't speak English. So I'm cool here. Unless he shows it to my English teacher, then I'm fucked. Yeah, this fool was texting us on WhatsApp. That's not how you do an online class, you fucking idiot. You fucking muppet. That's not how you do an online fucking class. And let me tell you something, man. I'll get to the fights later. It just came up on my mind and I'm so fucking mad because it's been 3 days, you know, it's been 3 days and every morning I'm waking up 8 a.m. I'm online, my setup is ready. I'm ready to be in the fucking class and no fucking teacher is showing up. This is embarrassing. Look, you are a teacher. You're getting paid to teach me something, right? You are here to teach me something. And when you're not showing up, you can't expect me to do good in the finals. You can't. I swear to God, if when the classes are schools open up, it's gonna open up next month. If they say, why didn't you do good in the exam that, like, let's say we had last week, I'm gonna be like, you didn't show up for class, you motherfucker. You didn't show up. So that's that. And let me tell you something. When you have a responsibility, you gotta deliver, man. When they tell you that you are a teacher, you better teach people something. When you are a fighter, you better fight. When you are a police officer, you better protect people's lives. That's what you do. When you are a teacher and you don't show up for work, you don't deserve to be paid. And I can go on and talk about it all day long because it's been like what, 10 years, like 12, 13 years that I've been dealing with these assholes, and none of them is responsible as like a good teacher. Man, listen, I don't want to talk about it because this is a fighting podcast, and I really don't want to bring these motherfuckers up. So let's moving on to the next fight. Curtis Blades versus Jorginho Rosenstrike. I'm not even gonna talk about this fucking bullshit. If you want to talk about this fight, go on, Ollie. I'm not gonna even say anything about this boring ass fight.
Why don't you want to speak about this one?
Listen, when you are Jorginho Rosenstrike, you got that power. You got a power.
Did you predict Rosenstrike to win?
Yeah. Yeah.
You muppet.
I am a fucking idiot for picking Rosenstrike.
I knew Curtis Blades was going to win by decision. Look, Curtis Blades he beats Derek Lewis 9 times out of 10.
I don't think so.
Alright, 8 times out of 10.
No, listen. The reason I'm saying is because, Derek Lewis is a great fighter. He was shot down in his last fight, but let's be honest here. Derek Lewis, he's a smart guy. He might not look smart, he might not sound smart, but he's smart. He knows what to do. And I guess Curtis, he looked like he knew what he was gonna do. He was just waiting for Curtis to shoot, like, just go in there because, Curtis doesn't shoot like a wrestler. He just lunges in. What the fuck was that? Did you turn on your camera?
Just test them.
Yeah, it looks smashed to me. So yeah, he was just waiting for Curtis to shoot, and he threw that uppercut. That's why I'm saying Curtis Blade will never beat Derek Lewis. And talking about this fight, I gotta talk about it. What you gonna do? This is my job. Listen, this fight looked boring as hell. When you're Jorginho Rosenstrike and you got that power and you don't land, you're a fucking idiot. I'm saying that with all the respect to Jorginho. I mean, he's a technical kickboxer. You're always gonna expect that from a technical kickboxer. But when you can hurt someone and you already did, his eye was shut. Was it the right eye or the left eye? I think it was the right eye. Like that. It was the right eye. His right eye was completely shut. That left hook was gonna be there for you. That left hook was gonna be there. And if you're an orthodox conventional fighter, that jab is gonna be there for you. And you didn't utilize that. You just stand there, looked at him, waiting for him to take you down. That's not how you fight. That's not how you fight Curtis Blades. With Curtis Blades, he's a wrestler. He shoots. If you want to have success against a wrestler, Daniel Cormier said it. You gotta push him back. You gotta put pressure on him, make him go backwards, because when you're going backwards, it's hard to shoot a takedown.
Mm-hmm.
And Jorginho, I think Jorginho needs to sit down and have a talk with himself. Is that gonna be it? Am I gonna be a gatekeeper? Because right now he looks like a gatekeeper to me, and I'm saying that with all the respect in the world for Jorginho, because he beat Augusto Sakai, who's a decent fighter, and then he loses to Curtis Blades, a top 5 fighter. He
Yeah.
beats, I don't know, who he beat before the Francis Ngannou fight. Who did he beat before the Francis Ngannou fight? Ollie.
Oh, what?
Who did Jorginho Rosenstrike beat before the Francis Ngannou fight? He beat Junior Dos Santos. He beat Dos Santos. You
Wait,
know?
are we? Oh, let me check.
No. Sorry, that's after the Francis Ngannou fight.
What?
I think he beat Alistair. He beat Alistair over him, right? He beat Alistair over him. Then he calls out Francis Ngannou.
They got slapped.
Alistair over him, got slept, Alistair, he's not in his prime anymore. He beats, Alistair over him, fights Francis Ngannou, gets knocked out. He beats
Wait,
Junior Dos
are you
Santos.
going to be watching Alistair Overeem's Glory debut?
I don't know. I gotta look at my schedule. I might
23rd of
be.
October.
I might be. So, look at this. He beats a 40-year-old over him. Then he fights Ngannou. He loses to Ngannou. And Ngannou is in his absolute prime right now. Then he fights Junior Dos Santos, another fighter who's not in his prime, and knocks him out. Then fights Ciro Gane, the interim champion right now. Then he loses to Ciro Gane. He fights Augusto Sakai, beats him. Augusto is a decent fighter. Then he beats him. He fights Curtis Blades, a top 5 opponent. Then he loses. I think he needs to sit down and have a talk with himself. Am I gonna
Yeah.
be, am I gonna be a gatekeeper? Am I gonna be, a journeyman? Which I don't think he's a journeyman, but if this goes on like this, you beat number 11, number 12, you beat number 9, and then you lose to number 7, number 4, number 3, that's a gatekeeper for you. So, let's not talk about it. Moving up, next fight, Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz. It's sad that we saw Nick Diaz lose like that. I mean, but this is what happens when you get screwed by a fucking athletic commission, right?
Yeah. Sad, man.
Listen, I'm happy and I'm sad at the same time because Robbie Lawler is in the event column right now. He won this fight. He won. I don't have any problems with Robbie
Wait,
winning
what
a
was
fight.
your scorecard going into round 3?
I actually didn't score any fights tonight.
Disappointing.
I was just so hyped for this card that I didn't even remember that I have verdict on. So yeah. So, but Diaz was doing good.
I scored it 1919.
Yeah, you can't say that it was close, because Nick Diaz, he was backing up all the time, but he was landing good shots. It was close, but he was backing up. But so I don't know. And like I said, I don't have any problems with Robbie winning because I love Robbie Lawler. But I got a little bit problem with the Nick Diaz losing. It's sad. And who's responsible for that? Fucking athletic commission. You You go out there and suspend a man for 5 years. 5 years only. Imagine, imagine if you wanted to, do something in your life and they tell you in the peak of your career that you have to stop for 5 years and you can't do it. You have to stop for 5 years and you can't do your job for 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
And you come back, you're not gonna look the same, because Nick, he can't fight. There's no way for Nick to fight unless he goes out there and there's underground fights and that's gonna leak everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be a problem for Nick Diaz. And this is the what happens when when you got a couple idiots sitting in that room calling themselves athletic commissions, and you know TJ Dillashaw tested positive for EPO, which is a serious performance enhancing drug, and Anderson Silva, he tested positive for steroids. Who else tested positive? Brian Ortega. Who else tested positive? Josh Barnett. Who else tested positive? Um, John Jones. They get a 2-year suspension. Nick Diaz for marijuana gets 5 years. Only 5 years. Imagine that. Imagine it's like I've never smoked marijuana, so I don't know what it feels like. But I feel like marijuana is not gonna give you any advantages in a fight. I don't think that it's gonna give you any advantages, which when it's not giving you any advantages in a fight, why is it illegal? Why is it illegal? You know, drugs are bad, but when it's legal in country, in America it's legal. Is it legal in UK
What?
to smoke marijuana? Marijuana is it legal in UK?
Yeah, I think so.
Listen, when it's legal in a couple countries and it's not giving you any performance any it's not a performance enhancing drug and it's like a cigarette. It's like smoking a cigarette and you get banned for 5 years. Imagine if it was like that. Because there are a lot of fighters that smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fighters that drink alcohol. There are a lot of fighters that smoke marijuana. And, you shouldn't be banned for 5 years for smoking marijuana. Because, because, listen, if you ban a guy who smokes marijuana for 5 years, you gotta ban a guy who uses EPO for 10 years, if you're looking at it that way. If I'm using PEDs, if a guy who uses marijuana gets suspended for 5 years, I should be suspended for 10 years because it's gonna do damage to you. Your body is gonna be hot, it's gonna be solid as a oh, fuck. I'm a little bit emotional here right now. As a,
Okay.
I'm just emotional because that might happen to me one day. Because when I want to be a fighter, I don't want to smoke marijuana on accident or you know on purpose or whatever and get suspended for 5 years. And when I saw Nick Diaz, go down like that, I was like, this man, he lost his touch. And well, this is what happens, man. Nick Diaz, this is sad. The state athletic commissions, they owe Nick Diaz everything. They owe him billions of dollars. You take a man's prime for him like that, and you don't even consider lowering it. Make it at least 2 years. Make it a year. Make it 6 months. Fine him for $500,000. why you ban him for 5 years? When he comes back, he looks like that. I mean, everyone was talking about, how Nick doesn't look the same on that shadow boxing video. I mean, that's his boxing style, If you're not a hardcore fan, you're not gonna, you're not gonna know that that's Nick Diaz's style. That's his boxing style. That's why his boxing is amazing. And, you know, you go out there and he was doing good, and the first big punch, the biggest punch of the fight landed, he went down. That's that ring rust. That's the long layoff. That's the 5 years suspension for marijuana. Can we move on from this fight, please?
What?
Can we move on from this fight? I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, right.
So, next fight, Valentina Shevchenko, my favorite fighter. Black Widow. She looked great as always. She looked amazing. She looked amazing as always. And for Laura Murphy, she was being lied to by her corner. You remember? Did you see the corner?
Yeah. Saying that she was doing like really well in the
She was doing good. Listen, it doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter how good you're doing. When you're in front of a fighter like Valentina Shevchenko who can knock you out in any second, until you dominate every single minute, every single second of that fight, you're not doing good. That's what my coaches always tell me. When you are not, when you are fighting a fighter like Valentina Shevchenko, a dominant champion like Valentina, and until you've even either finished the fight, knock her out, choke her out, or until you dominate her for every single second of that fight, you're not doing good. Because that those punches are gonna land on you and they're gonna knock you out. And for Laura Murphy, who was in her corner? Her husband, I think, right? Was her husband, right?
Yeah.
'Cause, that's your
They
husband,
need to
and
stop doing that.
doing what? Bringing the husband in the corner?
Yeah.
That's he's her jiu-jitsu coach.
I don't care.
He's
It's
a coach.
stupid.
I mean, listen, even if he's your coach, I don't think you should bring him in because you know when you bring in your coach, even though when you bring in your husband, even though he is your coach, he still loves you. That's love is in there, and you don't want to hurt somebody. When I love someone, I don't want to hurt her with my mouth, with my talking. I don't want to hurt her. And, like, something like that it's just sad, because, he doesn't want, he was lying to her, to be honest. He was lying to her. And looking at that, I think she needs to change the camp. Because, she was being lied to. Ollie, where's the camp? Where's your microphone?
Yo.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think of him,
That's
being lied to, of her being lied to,
bad.
that,
Just tell the facts that she's losing, needs to go for the kill.
listen, when you are cornering someone, it doesn't matter if you hurt them by telling them, it's not going to hurt anybody, but I'm losing all the rounds. I'm losing all the rounds. What? If you tell me you're winning, I'm going to win, that's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. Ollie,
Yeah, I'm here.
talk.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to finish.
I'm finished, but When I stop talking, that means I'm finished.
Alright, let's move on to the main event. Ortega v.
Ortega Volkanovski. You were going with Ortega. Let's
No,
clear the fog
remember
here.
what I said on a podcast? Do you
What is it?
remember?
What is it?
I said someone's going to get dropped in round 3 and Ortega's going to tighten a choke, but I did say he's going to finish it.
Yeah.
Fair
I mean,
play.
now he didn't get dropped. I don't think he was dropped. He, I don't know. I don't know the situation because I was so hyped for that fight and my analyst brain wasn't on. It was that fanboy brain that was looking at the fight, watching the fight. The fanboy was watching the fight, not the analyst. Not the podcaster, not you know, the guy who breaks down fights. That guy was not watching the fight. A fanboy was watching, and I was enjoying every second of that fight. But you were right. That wasn't someone was gonna get dropped, and Volkanovski was gonna get dropped, and that wasn't he wasn't dropped. I think he slipped, or he was going for a takedown, or
But
I don't know.
before the ground and pound in round 3 and 4, it was so even.
It was even, but Volkanovski
Volkanovski
was
was
edging
edging
out.
it.
He was edging out because Brian Ortega looked great in his fight with Korean Zombie, and Zombie, that's his nickname, Zombie. He comes forward. He's not going around, with all that
Zombie.
movement.
So,
He's a
that's
zombie,
another name.
like the movie, like the show Walking Dead. When walkers when they're coming at you, they're not moving their head so you can knife him in the head. You've seen the show, right?
Do you remember? Oh, I don't think you saw on the story, but do you know who's coming back to featherweights?
No.
The Russian Sabbath.
Oh, Zabit is coming back. Zabit is coming back.
Yeah, Coach Henry Mark Henry put on the story.
Oh shit.
Put him against Korean Zombie.
Korean Zombie. That fight is gonna be absolutely amazing, and it has to be a 5-round main event.
Yeah, we need to see Sabbath's 5-rounders because we don't know because he's had health conditions.
Yeah. And
So last time we
yeah,
saw him
yeah.
last time we saw him was it against Calvin Cater?
Calvin Kattar, a 3-round main event. They gave him 3 rounds.
Oh yeah, I remember because I was watching boxing November 9th
Yeah.
and I switched the channel to the main event for UFC. It was in Moscow, right?
Yeah, it was in Moscow.
Yeah. That was
So
good.
yeah, so
That was good. But
yeah. I mean, yeah, he gets gassed out. So yeah, moving on. I was saying, Korean Zombie, he's like a zombie. He's a zombie. He walks you down. He's not moving the head. Like I said, like the TV show Walking Dead. Have you seen that show?
Not seen it, but I've heard about it.
Go watch it, Ollie. I hated zombie shows, but I love this one. So he's like a zombie. In the show, the zombies or the walkers, they're not moving their head. They're not, trying to slip the knife attacks. They're not defending themselves from the gunshots. They're just walking forward and trying to eat you. That's Korean Zombie for you. Zombie, he walks you down. He takes the shot. He sometimes blocks them. Sometimes he doesn't. He walks you down. He comes forward and he tries to knock you out, or in that term, eat you in a zombie term.
Yeah.
And look, and Brian Ortega did great against him because his head wasn't in front of him, and when you got a target who's just in there, not moving, you're gonna be good at punching it. But when you are fighting Volkanovski, who's always moving that head, um, it's gonna be a little bit harder for you to win this fight. And he looked like the same when he fought Max. His face, everything looked the same. Ortega looked broken to me after the third round. Ortega looked broken. Don't you think that?
Who?
Ortega looked broken to me after the third round.
Yeah. I don't think. But Round, I don't know how he is crazy. Did you see him in round 5?
Yeah, he did. I mean, Volkanovski got tired, man. That last 30 seconds, Volkanovski got tired, and you know, that was his window of opportunity, and he came up short. But that's not the end for Brian Ortega. He will be back. I will promise you that. But for Alexander Volkanovski, that man, I mean, he just showed that I'm a dominant champion. I'm a champion right now. Stop talking about the Max Holloway fight. That was controversial. That was close. That was a split decision when he was fighting Max Holloway.
Max Holloway won.
I mean, you can argue that Max won, but did he? I mean, Volkanovski got his hand raised, even though that was a close fight. Volkanovski got his hand raised, so stop saying that Max won. In our
Max
mind,
won.
Max won. I think he
Everyone
won
knows
that
Max
fight.
won.
I think he won that fight. I'm saying
Max
that
won.
stop stop doing that, and show some respect to the champ.
Yeah, I've
Volkanovski.
got my respect, but Max beats him in the trilogy.
We gotta see how that plays out. We gotta see how that plays out
How?
with Gary
We
Rodriguez and
don't
Max
know.
Holloway.
Max has a fight in November, so
Yeah, Max is
if
fighting
Max
it.
gets through who's he fighting? The Mexican
Gary
guy.
Rodriguez.
Yeah. If he gets through him like he did with Cater,
Wait a minute,
fucking
wait a minute. Oh, Mr. Ollie Stanley, are you playing fucking video games?
no,
Why am I hearing a fucking controller?
I'm not.
You just put it down,
No, I
didn't
didn't.
you? What time is it? What time is it? Oh, yeah, I gotta,
Hang on.
we gotta wrap this up quick, because, I gotta go get vaccinated. Are you vaccinated, Ollie?
No.
Dude, I'm afraid to get the vaccine. I'm afraid. I'm, I'm afraid. I'm scared. Because there are a lot of fighters that are saying that we're not gonna get vaccinated. There are a lot of people going on social media showing proof that the vaccine is hurting them, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid to take the vaccine. And if I don't, they're not gonna let me in school. I mean, I ain't got no problem with that, but with that also comes that I can't travel, I can't go out, I can't leave I can't leave the island, I can't go to doctor, I can't go to maybe a concert, I can't go to theater and watch a movie, I can't. Everywhere you want to go, you gotta have that passport, that vaccine passport. And I need it, because I go out a lot. And, that's it. I gotta take the fucking vaccine. And, hey guys, if I die, or, if something happens to me that I can't come on the show, Ollie's gonna take care of you. But please, tell him to get his camera fixed. Please.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you for watching this episode. Oh, congratulations to the fighters that won their fights last night, and keep your head up if you didn't win your fight, because at A defeat is a victory, is a bridge to victory. You know, you lose a fight, that's gonna show you your mistakes, and you're gonna win your next fight. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, and say, tell us what you think we should do for the next episode. We got a guest coming up. He's a bare knuckle fighter. This time will be KFC, September 28th. Tune in for the next episode, and we'll see you September 28th. Goodbye. Ollie, say goodbye. Ollie, everybody, goodbye.